Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, and this time we have the Mezco Toyz 112 Collective Captain Marvel. Now this is an MCU figure, so with Mezco figures, I really only collect the MCU figures and their Spider-Man figures. If they were to ever come out with another damn Spider-Man figure, we got the symbiote suit Spider-Man, classic Spider-Man, and Miles Morales. I would like to see more. Hopefully Mezco will do that. But here we have the next up, Captain Marvel. I will be doing a comparison side by side with the Marvel Legends Captain Marvel. I'll also do a comparison with the Mezco Toyz Hela, because this is the only other female Mezco figure that I have. And with my favorite Mezco 112 collective figure, Thor from Thor Ragnarok. I have 14, 15, 16 total Mezco figures. I have all the MCU ones, but I wasn't going to bring them all out to go over everything. But box is pretty simple. We don't really care about it. But looking at the back of the package, this will give us a really good look at the accessories that she comes with. So a total of 5 total interchangeable hands, or 4 stand, of course, but she comes with the pager and the Tesseract, so that is really cool. Goose the cat is okay. I think certain angles you got to really look at its eyes on how it comes out looking. 3 total heads, and the effects are really, really cool, the photon effects. So we'll take a look at all that stuff right now. Okay, and here's the Captain Marvel figure out of the package. So a lot of great things, but I really like the effect pieces and the accessories that she comes with, even more than the figure. And the figure is good. Don't get me wrong, it's good. Is it great? Probably not, but it is really good. The accessories really send it over the top. So let's take a closer look at the accessories before we take a closer look at Carol. Okay, so taking a close look at the accessories, first I want to show you this pager. This thing is tiny. Be very careful that you don't lose this thing, because I'm scared I'm going to lose it. But look at the sculpted detail on it. You got the green screen where it shows the number, or I guess however this version would work. That just looks fantastic. Looking at the back of it, again, they even have sculpt on the back. This thing is great. We didn't get this with Marvel Legends. We didn't get this with anything. So here, Mezco Toyz did it, and it just looks really, really good. So kudos for them for making such a tiny accessory and doing a great job with it. We also have a Tesseract here. This looks pretty good. It actually has a couple of different, well, it's not really different colors, but some of the edges kind of seem like a darker color, so it almost has like that glowing effect to it. If I can get this in focus, there we go. It's got a little shimmer to it, so I really like the way this came out. I will show a comparison if I could find one of my Marvel Legends Tesseracts. So this looks really good. I really like that. But, you know, it's just a little blue cube. You know, what else can you do? We also have Goose the cat. Don't look directly at its eyes. I think that's the only problem with this cat, and probably too big of a neck. It does look pretty good. You know, when you compare it to like the Marvel Legends Goose, you know, one looks like a much more realistic cat, whereas one does not. This one has a better head and face and eyes than this one, but this one's still a lot more detailed. It's the sculpt of it's got textured fur much more than the Marvel Legends one, so it's good for what it is. You know, we get the collar on there. This one didn't have a collar, so I'm happy with it. We have 4 total hands. So the figure comes with fists out of the package. Then we have these open hands here. These holding hands. So I guess this one she could hold like the Tesseract, I guess, as you could see. And then she has, wait, as I lose these tiny, and these hands are really small too, this holding hand here. Looking at the accessories, so to go full binary, she has these effect pieces that can go onto her hands, like so, and these are just done so nicely. So we got a translucent orange, yellow, blue. How they do that, I don't know, but you know, it's Mezco. They are hands down the best in the game for accessories. So that looks awesome. We have these pieces here, and the interesting thing with these is these don't fit over their hands. There's already translucent hands inside the mold of it, and I know what you're thinking, well, what about left and right? The hands inside are different, so these are not the same accessories. And then even looking at it, these balls of photon blast fire, whatever the hell they are, these two are not the same at all. They are 2 very different things, which is really cool because you get these 2 unique effects when Mezco could have just as easily used the same ones, whereas, you know, like Hasbro would have definitely just given us 2 of the exact same. So that's really cool. Now these 2 Blast ones are basically the same, but they are different hands inside for the left and the right. But these, as cool as they are, as cool as the idea of them, the problem is that they're heavy. They're very heavy. So when you pop these onto the wrist pegs, it's going to weigh down. So trying to get her to use this blast effect straight is definitely a challenge. But I'll show you guys that, you know, soon. But I definitely wanted to show you the accessories first, because these accessories are just fantastic. Head sculpts, as you can see here. So we have the one that with the helmet, and then we have the binary with her glowing hair. I'll take a closer look at those pretty soon. And also she includes her bomber jacket, so that looks really good. I will compare that, or we'll do that now, with the Marvel Legends one. And obviously one looks much better than the other. This one didn't have a flag on. I wonder why they didn't do that, but Mezco put the flag on there, so a lot better. Now let's take a closer look at Carol. Okay, so there's a closer look at Carol. I have to put this light right on there so you can really see her face. Did Mezco do a terrific job? They did an okay job with this. I think it does look like Brie Larson. I think it looks much better in hand, but it's very... I don't know how to describe it. I'd say pale, but you know what? She's super white, right? I think it looks a little bit more this, I don't know, it's hard to explain the skin tone. It definitely looks a little too yellow through video. Having it in hand, it's a little bit better. But I do think it's the best head sculpt that we've gotten when you look at it compared to Marvel Legends. I don't know how SH Figure Arts turned out. If you guys let me know, give me your opinion on that, if that figure's even been released. I really don't even know. So that is Carol. I will show the other heads here shortly, but let's take a look at the suit. The details of it is really nice. The only thing that is, I don't know if it's lacking, but when you look at the Legends, it had a metallic color. I don't even think that's really right for the movie, though, in terms of kind of the shininess of it, you know, whatever material they use. I think this one came out looking a little bit more realistic because it's just not shiny all over. But we got a lot kind of going on here in the details of it. So there's a lot of line work in this vinyl portion, like that are on the sides of the legs, right here on the torso and her chest. There's just lots of line work on there. That star piece is gold that came out looking really nice. Look at the back of the figure. You can look at where the seams are along the back and down. It just looks really good. So I know soft goods on figures isn't for everybody, but Mezco does a great job with it. You know, I give a lot of shit to some of the older Mezco figures for that real pajama look, but they've come such a long way since then to give us just top quality things like this. So, you know, their accessories are on point. Are their head sculpts always the greatest? No, they have some great ones. But the suits and the accessories just really sell the figure, so just looks great. Now let's pop off and switch those heads. Okay, so here is the first helmeted one. The two are the exact same, it's just the hair that's going to be different. So looking at this in terms of like Marvel Legends, I like the Marvel Legends one more because it just seems a little bit thinner, I guess. Just this one seems a little bit wide, which is probably more accurate because when you think about it, you know, it's a helmet on top of an actual head. Just something about it looks a little bit more rounded and not ovally, I think, for me. I don't know what it is. But the hair looks good. The sculpted details and the paint of the helmet came out looking really good. The standard that we would see with any Mezco figure. Popping that off is very easy. You can see that the neck, it comes with the head. So popping on the other one, it's the same exact head, but we get the binary form hair. So the translucent orange in the hair, and that looks really good. And then back to the Carol Danvers unhelmeted head. And again, Mezco did a good job. I wouldn't say great, but I do definitely see a Brie Larson likeness, especially at that angle. That looks really good. Now let's see her articulation. And before I forget, before we take a look at the articulation, here are the two. So you have the Mezco and the Marvel Legends Tesseract. And you can see this is the Marvel Legends, this is the Mezco. The Mezco one definitely looks more, glowy. I think definitely looks more like it did in the movies compared to this one, and they are about the same exact size. So, you know, Marvel Legends did something half right. They got the blue color, but they just did not get that glowy look to it. Okay, so Carol's articulation, she can look all the way down because you get that movement in the neck going. Looks like that wants to pop off. There's some gap in that neck when you do that. So she can look up somewhat, so you think fight poses are going to be a little bit tricky for her. That's unfortunate. Arms, they go up very, very high. As you can see, you can kind of get a full rotation going there. Or go up very high. You can't get a full rotation because of the soft goods, but you can get fair movement going around in there. There is no bicep swivel or anything like that. She has a single jointed elbow, which gives you a 90-degree there. There is a little bit of a swivel in there, but you can only get so much motion, you know, with the soft goods. Wrists are on a ball peg, so you can get all kinds of circular motion and everything going on there. Be careful when switching out those hands because those pegs are very, 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 very small. I'm always worried that I'm going to break those pegs when switching out hands. Okay, so she's on a diaphragm joint, so see how much we can get it to move. So she could tilt to the side that much. She could tilt to the other side that much. Going forward, you actually get a fair amount. That's as decent as you can see there. Then going back, she actually has a diaphragm joint and it looks like this lower ab crunch maybe going on in there. So decent amount there. Legs can go out. Let's see, I'm going to be careful with the legs. I know some of the female figures you have to be very careful. Legs go out that far apart. She can't kick forward that high. Doesn't really go back. There is an upper thigh cut in there, but again, with the suit the way it is, soft goods, there's not a whole lot you can do with it. You get a, I'm trying to think if that's double jointed or single. That might be a single jointed knee, so you're only going to get 90-degree at the knee. No boot swivel or anything like that. You get a foot that hinges down tiny bit, hinges up tiny bit, pivots tiny bit, and there's peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So unfortunately, the feet look great, but the movement and pivot just isn't really there. So there's Carol Danvers. Decent articulation, but again, the soft goods is really going to limit some of those things, but you can get her into certain types of poses. Okay, and here she is next to the only other Mezco female figure that I have, and this is Hela. And you know what? Looking at this figure again, such an awesome figure, this Hela one. The head sculpt really looks like Cate Blanchett from the movie. Just Mezco did a better job with that head sculpt than with Carol Danvers for sure. But they do look really good together. You can see Hela is a lot taller, as she was really portrayed in the movies to be very tall, even though I don't know how they compare in real life, but I think Brie Larson's actually kind of short, but I don't actually know how tall she is, but they look really good together. And then of course my favorite Mezco 112 figure is the Thor Ragnarok figure, because I just think all around it is absolutely fantastic. And you can see he just kind of towers over Carol like so, and that's probably pretty close to realistic how the two actors really are in terms of their height. And the Mezco figure next to the Marvel Legends, and they really made her super tall in Legends form, which probably was not realistic in terms of scale. I would say the 112 is a lot closer to how tall she really is compared to this one. So Marvel Legends, of course, is more streamlined, metallic paint. Mezco 112 has a really realistic look to it. Okay, so let's talk about some of these effect pieces. So to pop off the wrist, and then you can get the hand, and make sure you get the left with the left. Not sure that it really ends up mattering, but you know, if Mezco took the time for the detail, we should do it. Okay, so here's the thing that just really weighs it down. So even straight out, it's just gonna kind of look like that. I love the idea, I love the concept, but I think it should have been something to where this was open, and then you can maybe even still pop off the hand and then port it onto the arm and go a little bit over the forearm, and I think it would have held up a lot better than this, because I mean, this is just too bad. And then these ones, again, they could have done something to go over the hand, but this one works out really well, you know, especially if she's going to punch somebody or something with that binary, when she's in binary form. So that is pretty cool. Let's put the hand back on, and then we can put her hand right into this effect piece, and it gives her that binary look with the photon blast. So looks really good. Okay, so putting on the jacket, I'm gonna pop the hands off. That's gonna make it so much easier to get the arm all the way through the sleeve, because I tried it once already. But I want to give you guys the realistic look and expectation of what you're doing when you have this figure. And chances are, if you're a Mezco collector, you already know this, and you probably know more than me. But for some of you guys that might be new or thinking about moving to Mezco figures, you know, hopefully this video is informational for you. As I still struggle to get her arm all the way through. I mean, I see the peg, it's right there. You know, maybe I leave it like that and just kind of force the hand in. Let's try that. No, that's not really going to work. You really have to get the wrist to come all the way through, and I'm scared of damaging the jacket and stretching out the material. And you know what, the jacket's starting to look really good, but you know what, it does look a little bit baggy. But I mean, that's just being nitpicky, I think, you know, when having something like this. It's pretty darn close cut, but I'm really scared to stretch out the material. So scared to do it. There's the peg. Let's pop the hand on there. As I pop her head, well, her head came right off. Look at that. Okay, so there is Carol with the jacket. I know that took forever. Thank you for bearing with me as we get that on there together. So that looks pretty good, but I think Hasbro did a better job only because it's just a little bit smaller. It doesn't look as baggy. I still like what they did with the jacket in Mezco, but it just doesn't quite hit the mark for me, but it does look really good. It's nice that it's included. And last but not least, here is the Mezco Captain Marvel next to the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. For a size comparison, you can see the top of her mohawk is still just under the height of the Marvel Legends Stan Lee. But that is my review on the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel figure by Mezco Toyz 112 Collective line. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure. Did I persuade you to move into the Mezco territory of collecting, or am I keeping you away from it? $80 for a figure is very high. The accessories really stand out with any of the Mezco figures. Some of them can be lacking in terms of accessories, but they do a lot of great things, and they have a lot of great figures. All of the MCU figures have been really good. Again, this Hela is top-notch. This Thor Ragnarok is just a beast and is one of the best I have. It is the best that I have. These Spider-Man figures are great as well, but you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit the notification bell. And as always, thank you for watching.